Hi, I'm Neil Enoch and welcome to Train Talk TV, the podcast about all things railroad. Today, the Vancouver Island Model Engineers in pictures. UP's flagship steam engines are traveling all over the USA. Recycled railway ties are finally destined for the main line. California Governor Schwarzenegger is shopping in the Far East for a $40 billion train set. And our video look at Jasper, Alberta. Tourist town or train town? First, I just want to thank everybody for the feedback on the Railway Weekender. Last week we featured 46 events and this week's list will top over 50. We're starting to get input and feedback from those holding the events, and we'll try and get that feedback to you in the form of footage and stories on the show and that sort of thing. If you want to get the Railway Weekender automatically delivered to your mailbox every Thursday-ish, just send an email to info@TrainTalkTV and you'll get it starting right away. We'll eventually have a proper sign-up form, but that will come when the time permits. Thanks. My good friend Don Hawkins was at the Vancouver Island Model Engineers layout near Sydney, BC, and took these photos. Looks like they opened up for him and gave him a run round while they were working on it. Now I have to say I'm amazed by what I've seen there, and I'm a little bit embarrassed. My mom lives not 5 minutes away from here. I've been by 2 dozen times and I have never been in. And after seeing this, I'm going to have to correct that. Thanks, Don. Heritage steam engines are roaming around the USA again. Number 844 is on the Portland Rose Heritage Tour with stops in Wyoming, Idaho, and Oregon. In fact, if you look at the GPS tracking system right now, 844 is in Pendleton, Oregon right now while we're taping this segment. 844 is due back in Cheyenne on September 23rd. 3985, UP's Challenger and the largest operating steam locomotive in the world, is headed the other direction on a 6-state 2,200-mile tour to celebrate railroad heritage. On September 28th, 3985 will pull the Barnum and Bailey Circus train between Spear, Wyoming and Denver, Colorado. It'll be making history as it'll be pulling a 65-car train that is more than 6,000 tons and over 6,100 feet long, and that'll be the most for a steam locomotive in the 21st century. It's a fitting way for the million-pound 3985 to enter the 21st century record books, pulling the greatest show on earth. The Ohio Railway Museum in Worthington is closed while its directors ponder its future. There's a good article in the Columbia Dispatch about the troubles. Like many railway museums, it seems to need some money, a lot of help, and a new plan to move forward. If you're in that area, why not give them a call and see what you can do to help? It's good advice for anything. If you see something that needs doing or someone needs a hand, get in there and give it. Well, I'm not so sure I'm ready to hear this news so early in the fall, but Kansas City Southern has announced the schedule for its 10th annual Holiday Express train. The schedule and stops are listed in the show notes, and there is a charitable component to the free train. If you'd like to get involved in the charitable side, check the link in the show notes and on the website. I know it's a little early for Christmassy weather, but I have to tell you the truth, we're expecting snow where I live. Tomorrow. Axion International announced that a Class 1 railroad, one of the largest railroads in North America, has placed the first purchase order for the ongoing delivery of recycled structured composite, or RSC, railroad ties. RSC ties are inert and contain no toxic materials. They'll never leach or warp, and they can't be bothered by insects. Because they're lighter, transportation costs are lower, and when their functional life is over, they are again 100% recyclable. Nice to see something recycled actually being recycled into something else that can be recycled. This goes under the heading of, I want his job. Well, just for this trip anyway. California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger is traveling the Far East riding high-speed trains. He's seeing what some of the bidders in the competition to supply a high-speed rail lane between Los Angeles and San Francisco have to offer. More than trains, he's also looking for financing, as California's $20-ish billion debt load precludes any prepayment discount. Creative supplier participation will be key to getting that line built. He's been to China and Korea and will also visit Japan on this trip. He better get things rolling though, as they want the trains up and running by the year 2030. Well, Well, I finally made it to Jasper, Alberta this summer, driving the Banff-Jasper Parkway through some of the most beautiful and spectacular scenery you can find. There's hardly a sign of civilization along the unspoiled parkway, so it's almost a surprise to run into the town of Jasper when you get there. Jasper, Alberta is famous for its summer tourism and its winter skiing, but it's also a very busy little train town.
This is the Prince Rupert about to leave, freight going by, and the Canadians due in about 15 minutes. Busy town.
The CN main line runs right through Jasper, right along Main Street, and defines the downtown. The tracks, the station, and steam engine 6015 have one side of the street, and Jasper has the rest. Jasper gets CN mainline freight, but it's also a stop for the Rocky Mountaineer, Via Rail's Jasper to Prince Rupert train, and Via Rail's the Canadian, which didn't make it due to a freight derailment that day. The mountains around Jasper are spectacular, and you're not too far from the Columbia ice fields. I totally enjoyed the drive there and stopped for photo ops more than I ever have on any drive. Next time though, I think I'd like to take in the view from the train. Please comment on the show or share your own railroad news and videos with us at info@TrainTalkTV. Who knows, maybe we'll do a whole show around your idea. You can follow us on Train Talk TV on Twitter. This episode is sponsored by Cribscape's collectible cribbage boards. Unique, personalizable 3D cribbage boards make great gifts for the railroader in your life, and they're available at www.cribscapes.com. I really appreciate you taking in this show. Please subscribe to Train Talk TV on iTunes or on Miro or on Zune or on YouTube, and share the show with your friends. Thanks for watching. Bye. My train spotting daughter.